24, 36 hours been just in terms of activity and phone calls, and how busy would you say you've been this year comparatively?
Well, I mean, lots of phone calls. We'll see what comes of it. Obviously talking to agents for some of our players, pretty well all the managers. So don't really have any. I can't tell you anything's really going on right now, but you never know when something does happen.
How long can you expect to be with the first round pick? Could you move that first round pick that you have?
I'm expecting that we're going to use it as of we speak now. We'll see what tomorrow, but I'm expecting that we're going to make a pick.
Are you expecting to make a pick at 29?
Right now I am. We're not going to trade up. If the phone rings and somebody wants to, I don't think anybody wants to look to trade up to 29 today, but you get somebody's falling, the phone rings, we'll kind of explore it at the time. Right now I'm expecting that we're going to make a pick at 29.
In a perfect world, would you prefer to have clarity on Evander Kane's contract termination situation before going down the path of extending him, potentially?
Well, I would, but unfortunately, it's not a perfect world. So, it is what it is. Don't really have. It's unique. It's different. So I don't really know. Just wing it.
Free agency is kind of a time where it's always a scramble out of the gate a little bit, and if you miss that first go, sometimes you can be left standing there. Is that the added difficulty with this situation, that he's going to take a fair chunk of change, but to stand there and keep that free is tough to do?
I would say this to you, Ryan. I think it's going to be. I'm interested to see what goes on the 13th of July. In talking to many managers, lots are in the same situation that we're in. The cap's only gone up $1 million. Restricted free agents obviously with they're looking for salary increases. So the market's tight. So it's going to be an interesting next 7 to 10 days to see what's going on.
You tried to get goaltending in the last couple of free agency periods. Is that like priority number one? Is that where you want to put your eggs this go?
Well, obviously with Koski for sure being gone, I met with Smitty, had breakfast with him the other day. He's banged up. He's banged up pretty bad. You guys talked to him at the end of the year, so obviously I'd like to, in the next 10 days, have something done in net.
How active have you been on the trade front in the goalie market?
A little bit. Can't tell you. There's a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit.
Does it look more likely that you go the free agent route or the trade route?
I would bank on the free agent route, but again, you never know. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So, you make all these calls. Tomorrow, I'm going to go back. I talked to a few people in there. I'll talk to a few more, and then I'll call again tomorrow. So you keep kind of pecking away.
Does the chance of activity pick up now that everyone's back together for the draft in the same room wherever the last 2 years? Remote, or does it not matter?
I don't know if it matters, but it's more fun, I guess,
right.
to see some faces.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a question from Mark Spector from Sportsnet back home. He's asking about, in regards to reports of Yesapol Yarvi, is that deal draft date dependent, or can that stretch into the free agency window as well?
I think it could stretch all summer if we wanted it to.
Have you gotten any clarity on just Duncan Keith or anything like that, Ken?
Not really, no.
When you're in the buyout window right now, are you considering any buyouts?
I'm considering, but I'm hoping I'm not going to have to do that.
There's a lot going on with players in Russia. Can you tell? Are Samorukov and Petrov, are they back there, or what can you tell us about?
Samarukov's in Edmonton. I'm not sure where Petrov is. No, that was as of last week. I saw Sammy, so I'm not sure where Petrov is.
Any concerns about kind of what's going on there?
Well, I think we're all concerned with what's going on, not in Ukraine and in Russia, but just again, you're trying to handle it, manage it the best you can. So on a day-to-day basis. But I believe Sammy's in Edmonton. I'm not sure where Petrov is.
Was there a sense of concern in the room? I mean, are there solutions that were brought up as to help those teams and players who are in tough situation over there?
Not really, no.
Did the situation that's happening with Russia, with Ukraine, impact how you put your list together for tomorrow?
You know, I've talked to Ty to write about that. You know, we're going to talk again tonight. You know, he's obviously going to make the final decision on the call. I'll make the final decision, but I mean, in terms of the players, so we'll see. I mean, I guess if you're picking at 29, and you know, we'll play it by ear. We're going to play that by ear.
Ken, during your days in Detroit, you were not talking first overall, and even with the Oilers, you're not talking first also.
Well, we did in 85, 86. We got Joe Murphy.
Yeah.
That's how old I am, just so you know.
I'm sorry about Joe.
Okay.
I'm curious to know, is it harder for you to read what Kent Hughes is going to do because he's a rookie GM, or you have a pretty good feeling that the Canadian will be picking that player?
Well, he might be a rookie GM, but he's been around the business a long time, and he's a shrewd negotiator. He was an agent, you know. He's on the other side, so you know, obviously, I think, you know, whoever's picking first, they want to keep it a secret, probably, so that's you know, so when you announce it, it's a bigger moment. So they're doing a great job.
Speaking of them, there was talk that Martin St. Louis was involved also. You know, spoke with Shane Wright, things like that. Where do you stand, like, as far as, you know, philosophically, as far as involving your head coach in the draft process, especially when it comes to higher picks, I guess, that are more maybe NHL ready?
You know, I haven't been there in a while, but I guess I would say that you know, you're looking for as much information as you can when you make decisions. You know, certainly when we're talking about free agents, you know, I ask my coach his opinion. Quite often I ask, you know, the 2 or 3 or 4 best players their opinion in some situations. So, you know, here's a situation obviously where he's gathering information.
Did your coach talk to Joe Murphy back in the day? Do you remember?
That was a good one. Who was the coach? I can't remember who the coach was. Jacques Demers? Jacques Demers, maybe? Might have been Jacques Demers. No, it wasn't Jacques Demers. It was Harry Neal, maybe. So I don't know. I don't think Harry talked. Yeah, he was in Michigan State, and Jimmy D talked to him a lot because he was an hour down the road. Yeah.
How would you characterize any conversations you've been able to have with Evander Kane's camp and kind of where things sit at this moment with talks there?
How would I characterize? You know, I've had lots of talks. I was with Dan Milstein yesterday. I was with him the day before. I've had lots of talks to Dan Milstein. You know, I think that it's like I said before, you know, obviously we're tight on the cap. Many teams are tight on the cap. So I think sometimes we're all going to get to a certain place, maybe the 13th of July, and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, is there an indication? Have they indicated to you that they would prefer, or that they're going to go to market just to see what's out there, though?
I don't know. I mean, I plan to talk again, but I mean, we're a week away. At this stage of the game, anything's a possibility. You know, I'm not here telling you I'm close to any kind of a deal. So, you know, now you can wake up tomorrow and things change, but you know, is there a possibility that he's on the market July 13th? Absolutely.
There's a lot out there in the ether about potential turnover and lots of names out there. Obviously, you know who may or may not, but this team also got to the Final Four. So where's that balance between, you know, this group got you there, but also understanding there needs to be some level of turnover? Like, how much do you foresee?
Well, there's usually turnover in the off season. Possibly could be a little more than normal. I mean, obviously, right off the top, we're talking about goaltenders, right? For the last 3 years, we've had the 2 same goaltenders. You know, I mean, there's a chance we could have 2 different goalies. You know, Stu Skinner, you know, he's a waiver player now. So, is there going to be change? I would expect there's going to be change. I mean, I think I said at the end of the year, there's no chance we could bring the same team back. So, I'm exploring. You talked about buyouts, you talked about trades, so, those are all the things that, what's the status of Duncan Keith? What's the status of Mike Smith? What's going on with Evander? These are all balls that are just sort of bouncing around, and I'm just trying to. Eventually, I have to make some decisions. We all have to make some decisions, and but there's going to be change.
Sounds like a Rubik's Cube, right?
Yeah.
As one of the more experienced executives in the NHL who's been around for a while, what do you make of the changing face of the executive group? We're getting more women hired. We have Mike Weir as the first, black person as a GM. What do you make of the changing face of the NHL right now?
Well, I think it's fabulous, and I think it's going to continue. Obviously, to bring minorities and women into our sport. You think about all the with the women hockey players on the Canada team, the U.S. team, and there's other countries too. But they've been playing the game of hockey since they've been little girls, just like the little boys. So I think it's fabulous. It was great to see Mike Greer in there. Met him for the first time. I followed his career, but I've never really met him. So I think it's great for our league, and I would expect it's going to continue more and more.
Can I ask you about? I was talking to Kelly McCrimmon about some of the big profile players he's traded for, and you've traded for some big profile players. I'm curious, what's most difficult about making those types of deals? I guess what are the hurdles? Why do you think more of those deals don't happen?
Trades?
Yes, for a high profile player like Eichel, or like a lot of the ones Vegas has done.
Well, I don't know more. Well, I think it's gotten harder in a cap world because of money. And because of the cap world, I think back to pre-05, maybe there was, 8 teams that could legitimately win the Stanley Cup. In the West it was Dallas for about 8 years, Dallas, Detroit, Colorado. In the East it was Jersey, Philly, Toronto, maybe the Rangers. So now that list of 8's probably 16. There's more teams can, and if not win the cup, can make the playoffs and go on a playoff run. So because of competitive balance, because of the salary cap, those are factors that make it difficult to make those kind of deals. And then the last point would be, those deals are happening where teams both are good, but if one team's bad, on a rebuild,
right,
and one team's up at the top, maybe it makes it easier. But all the stars have got to align, and they don't align that often.
Do you think it takes more courage to make a trade like that now, when there's more teams in contention? You don't know if you're going to be at the end of this thing. I guess because there are more teams in contention, you don't know your team is one of those 8.
Well, I think you got to figure out when's your window, and then how good can we be, and does this take us to another level, and then you make the trade's got to work for both teams, obviously. So if you're getting the player now, you're trying to do something that the other teams may be building for down the road. So they're out there, but there's not many of them, but they've happened. You've just talked about one. The odd one does happen. Are you good? Okay, yeah.
Do you have players in Russia right now throughout the organization?
That we own?
From your players, do you have players who are currently in Russia this summer? And do you have concerns they're going to be having?
They asked me about, we got Samorukov and Petrov. Petrov played in the OHL, and Samorukov, I think Samorukov and his wife, I believe they're in Edmonton. I'm not sure where Petrov is.
But do you have any concerns about their situation if they go back to their family this summer, or is it a non-issue for you right now here in Canada?
Well, first off, it's out of my control. So I think, but certainly I think we're all concerned. That's what I said here. We're all concerned about things that are going on in the world, in Ukraine, in Russia. So, but I don't. Obviously, it's out of my control. No. Good.
You haven't asked Samorukov to stay here.
No, I have not.
And you don't know if he's going to go back at all? Or?
I don't think he's going back, because I think he understands this is a very, very big season in his career. He's a waiver player for the first time, He wants to play in the NHL. He wants to play for the Edmonton Oilers. We've got him. We've got Broberg. We've got Niemelainen played some hockey. I know Desharnais, Bouchard. So he's in a competition. I do plan that one of those young defensemen is going to be on our team for sure. Maybe two. So I think because of, and I've told him that face to face at the year end. I told that to Broberg. I told that to Niemelainen. We're trying to win. And if I got to put somebody back in the American League or put somebody on waivers because we're trying to win, I'm prepared to do that. So I think my understanding is he's staying in Edmonton all summer so that he's ready to rock and roll when training camp starts in September.
You lived it. Did you get a chance to watch the Detroit, Colorado documentary at all?
No, I have not. No, I haven't heard anything about it. Was it good? Yeah, was it? Yeah, I will watch it one day. I lived it, but it was pretty good when we lived it. But yeah, so I'll watch it. Yeah.
Are you surprised that there's no forgiveness between
McCarty or Draper?
Draper and Lemieux, yeah.
No, I mean the emotions were very, they were real. They were very real. Chris Draper got badly hurt, so Drapes is really intense. And I think that it wasn't like it was 1 year. It was about 7 years there of a real intense rivalry. So, for intense players, I'm sure over time it probably goes a little bit, but Drapes was obviously drilled into the boards and his face was rearranged, so I don't blame him.
When you were talking about trades before, I'm curious, does it change when you're together like this? Does the dynamic of being able to trade or wanting to trade, the social part of it, does it change it at all?
Maybe a little bit. Certainly, I mean, I've had some, up until today, I'm on the phone from one hotel to another hotel, so they could be in Buffalo, Chicago, Boston, Pittsburgh, New York. I don't think it would matter. Certainly today was good. I got here at 12 o'clock, and for an hour I talked to 6-8 managers and face to face. So, that was in a little bit after. Does it make a bit of it? Maybe makes a little bit of a difference, but the world we live in today with these phones and texting and everything, I don't know that it's going to affect one way or the other for a deal to be done.
Do you have a sense if the value you're going to be looking for Puljujarvi would be out there? Do you have a sense for that yet, what the market looks like?
Do I have a sense? Yeah, I mean, I've talked to everybody about, not everybody, but I've talked to all the managers I think I need to talk to about the things that I'm looking at. So I've got an idea where I'm at.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks guys.
Thank you.